So, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this week is Friday, the 25th of March, 2022. This is episode number 65, MVP Summit. Let's get on with it. So, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode. Like I say, my name's John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this is weekly episode number 65. Can you believe it? We seem to be motoring through these weeks like there's no stop, and there probably isn't. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. Hope you've all had a great week in work this week. It is Friday lunchtime here in the UK. Obviously, we're gearing up for the weekend, wherever you may be. Hope you're up to something fantastic and fun and kind of away from tech, maybe. I don't know. You know, how are we all feeling at the minute? Getting back to face-to-face meetups is what we're doing, I think is probably fair to say. It's certainly been a long time coming. How you all doing? Drop me a comment below. Let me know how your weekly face-to-face interaction with actual human beings is going. Okay, so we'll jump straight on over. We'll do some community call-outs, and then we'll get on with the show. Let's go for it. So yeah, just a quick shout out first and foremost. It's going to be, I mean, for those of you that know or don't know, I was awarded an MVP from Microsoft last August. This every year they run an MVP summit, which is kind of like an NDA show and tell from product groups and product teams and engineering teams about up and coming features and functionality within the Microsoft platform, Microsoft products. So really super excited to be joining my first MVP summit, which is going to be virtual, obviously under the current circumstances. They've not been able to plan and obviously commit to a face-to-face. It's usually a face-to-face meetup in Redmond over in Seattle in the US. So obviously gutted I can't make that, and it's not on, but virtual is always all the same. They did the pre-day yesterday, which was really super exciting. Obviously, there's not a lot I can say or talk about other than the fact that I'm super, interested and happy to kind of be part of this fantastic community, and that's happening for 3 days next week. So I will be avidly watching as many sessions as I can just to kind of get the lowdown on what's going on in the wonderful world of Microsoft. So big shout out to all those attending. Hit me up on Twitter, anything like that if you are going to be joining any sessions, and yeah, maybe we can watch them together. But yes, that's the first bit that I wanted to call out. So on with some actual call outs now. So I tweeted this last week. Happy birthday to Oh My Posh. Jean de Dobelia obviously developed Oh My Posh to pimp your terminal environment, to give that cool, pretty prompt that you can get in your terminal of choice. I would go and check it out if you haven't already. But Jana's got some t-shirts made up for Oh My Posh, which is pretty cool. Follow me here. I tweeted this out a few days back, but go and follow Jan and you can get the link to this. I've ordered my t-shirt. Super excited and waiting for that to be delivered. But yeah, just wanted to give them a shout out and say congratulations to Jan, obviously, on hitting that 6-year milestone with Oh My Posh. Go check it out. Other news, the Microsoft Cloud Security User Group is gearing up in a few days' time. So the 31st of March, they're going to have the fantastic Kevin Evans on talking about securing our cloud environments. And, of course, the brilliant Derek Smith as well. He's going to be joining the user group to talk about that security operations center. So modernizing your security center with using Azure Sentinel. So 2 really interesting and cool talks. Go and check those out. 31st of March, starting at 8 p.m. GMT. If you follow the group on Twitter, it's MSCSUG there. Go and follow them. Go and RSVP and show them some love. Moving on. Yeah, Kevin, great shout. He retweeted this the other day around about Terraform, the Azure RM version 3.0 being released. Just with additional functionality. So I had a quick scan through this blog article, which is on the HashiCorp website. If you go and check that out, you can read it yourself. It was published yesterday. Really, it's about kind of bring that synergy up between when Azure Resource Manager has features and functionality from new components or features that are in the platform, to bring it into being able to be used via the Azure RM provider within Terraform. over the last few years, there's been that little bit of a disjoint in terms of when something's available in Azure. It takes a little while for it to be updated and brought through into the Terraform module or Terraform providers. They've released 3.0. Go and have a look. There are some bits and pieces. There are some breaking changes, but just to call a few bits and pieces out, there were things like Key Vault Soft Delete is available. One of the other things I thought was quite interesting is that if you're doing anything with resource groups, there's a condition now that if you're going to delete a resource group, traditionally it would have deleted all the resources within that group. There's actually a check there now in Terraform 3.0. And you can actually override it using this condition and setting it to false, so prevent deletion if contains resources. But basically, there are a few little changes like that. Go and check it out. There's some awesome updates with the 3.0. I'll be digging into those a little bit when I get some time to see if any of my Terraform code needs to be modified or updated to use this new version. But yeah, go and check it out. Like I say, there are, there's a good bunch of updates in 3.0 as you'd expect. And it's great to see the progression of the Terraform providers for Azure. So go and check that out. And thanks for shouting that out, Kevin. Awesome stuff. Moving on, Shabazz Dar is obviously promoting the UK Azure Virtual User Group session, which is the next session is on April the 7th, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. British summertime. So yeah, we move into British summertime from this weekend, actually. So the clocks go forward, spring forward. So go and check that out, an RSVP to the event. It's on Meetup. Is it this weekend? I haven't told a boo-boo. Yeah, it's definitely this weekend. There we go. So go and check that out. And they've got Ryan Mangon on, and as we know, Ryan has released his book very recently. He's going to give a copy of it away at the user group if you're interested in that. So go and check that out and go and sign up to the event. Much appreciated. Moving on, big shout out to Gregor Suti, who I knew Gregor was off doing some prep and some LinkedIn Learning courses. So he has released his first course, which is the Azure Data Fundamentals, the DP900 Core Data Concepts course. So if you are on LinkedIn Learning, go and check that out. Help Gregor spread the word, retweet, and tell people about this course. And great to see. Congratulations to Gregor on his first LinkedIn Learning course. I will go and check that out. I'll go and have a little look. But well done. Go and check it out, everybody. And the last call out for this week is from Steve Goodman. Now, not specifically Azure related, but I thought this was an absolutely cool video Steve had put together, purely because of video making and video editing and presentations. He's calling out this concept of PowerPoint Cameo. So it's a new feature. I believe it's in preview at the moment. I don't think it's gone out as GA. I may be wrong by the time this video goes out. But Steve has done an awesome video, really, where he talks us through using this Cameo feature, which is really about bringing live video feeds into your PowerPoint presentations. And, he talks through some fantastic points about, how you might want to use it, how you can shape your camera, where you can position it, how you can transition it using things like morph between slides, which, look, brings a little bit of you're leveling up your PowerPoint presentation skills. Steve also talks about things that, as it may not necessarily be fit for purpose and things like that. But bottom line is, if you're interested in bringing video feeds into your PowerPoint presentations, go and hit Steve Goodman up. Go and watch his video here. Like I say, it's a fantastic video. It's not too long, but he really does go into how you can bring in your video feeds using Cameo in PowerPoint. Go and give it some love, and hit Steve up because it's a great little video. So thanks for that, Steve. Awesome stuff. Okie dokie. So we'll move swiftly on. We'll quickly talk about the Welsh Azure user group and what we're up to there. So for those of you that joined us last month, thanks so much. We had a great session with Matt Fatunka and Alkan coming on talking to us about Bicep. Really well received, that session. It was that end-to-end solution from Matt building a quiz platform effectively using Azure Cloud Services, which was cool. Go and check that out in the playlist below if you haven't seen it. And a fantastic talk on getting started with Bicep from Elkin. So huge thanks to those speakers. Our next event is on April the 20th. So we've got a couple of weeks yet. But we've got the awesome Keith Atherton coming on to talk to us about how can we level up and prep for Microsoft certification. So really well worth a watch, especially if you've not done any certification to date. I'm sure Keith will talk us through the best ways to get prepped for that and what we can expect. And then we got Anthony Mashford coming on to talk to us about enterprise file storage systems in Azure. So how do we get those set up and work with them? So really, excited for that event. Like I say, if you're not following us on Meetup, go over to meetup.com, search for the Welsh Azure user group, and give us an RSVP. We'd love to see you there. Help us spread the word of the event. And that's about it. Like I say, if you've missed any of the Welsh Azure user group sessions, they're all in the playlists below. Go and check out some of those videos. There's some fantastic speakers with some awesome content. So go and check that out. Cool stuff. We're going to whiz through this month, this week. Oh, I don't know why I say month, this week. Let's head back on over. I've been up to a fair bit over the last week or so I'll just call out some cool bits and pieces that I've been involved with just for your benefit. So first up, I'm involved with the Silver Linings Runbook podcast with Dan Stradling and James Storr, who are two fantastic colleagues of mine. If you've not seen this, go and head on over to SLR Podcast on Twitter. We've got episode 8 out where we rattle on about lots of different bits and pieces. But this week we talk about James went off. He's volunteered at SQL Bits. James is very much in the data side of Azure and data area and Power Suite. So James went over to volunteer at SQL Bits. He talks to us a little bit about that in its entirety, what the sessions were like, what he picked up from there. But we talk about a few other bits and pieces as well. We talk about SCCM, and that cloud management versus on-prem management of devices and thereof. So quite a cool episode. Go and check that out. Like I say, SLR Podcast on Twitter if you've not seen it before. Big shout out to Rue Campbell. Rue joined me this week on Schooled In, which is a new series I've started on YouTube. It's not going to be I don't think it'll be a weekly one. It'll be as and when I can find great guests to come on and talk to me and school me in a particular area. But this week was with Rue, where he talks me through Microsoft 365 Defender. Really does some whiteboarding. We talk through the whole setup, what it's involved. And of course, Microsoft have gone through a few marketing naming changes as well, so we kind of discuss those in this video. So go and check it out. It's in the playlist below. And yeah, let us know what you think. Let me know what you think about these videos. If they're useful, if they're not useful, that would be awesome in the comments below. Thanks to Dan McLaughlin for last week's guest on In Conversation With. Fantastic chat with Dan. If you missed it, go and check that out. Like I say, I really enjoy doing these In Conversation With videos. I get to meet some fantastic people from across the community. So go and check that out. That was last week's episode. But this week, it is Friday again. We've got another episode coming out. And it's with none other than Mr. Mark Doiker. So great chat with Mark. He's a prevalent guy in the community, focusing primarily on serverless and Azure Functions. He's got some fantastic stuff coming up and what he's up to in the community. That's out tonight, 6:30 p.m. GMT. If you can join us, it would be awesome. Either go over to my blog, jonnychipz.com, and get the link and, just wait there till 6:30. That'll be going live. Like I say, show me some love on that. If it's of interest to you, drop me some comments, things like that. That would be absolutely fantastic. Moving on, okay, so I'm involved with another live stream. I say a live stream starting on the 1st of April with two awesome people, Robbie and Swami. It's a global kind of developer series where every 2 weeks we're going to jump on and we're going to look at architecting and building a cloud-native e-commerce solution on Azure using hopefully cloud-native functionality. I'm sure there will be some other bits and pieces, but we're going to go off on this meandering journey to see what roadblocks we hit, what things we need to learn, how do we develop, why we're choosing certain components over other ways of doing things. Like I say, that's starting the 1st of April. If you can join us, that would be absolutely awesome. Just go and check it out. At the moment, the intro video is up below. So if you check out the playlist, When Ops Meets Dev, you'll see there's a little intro video with a bit more detail. If that's of interest to you, go and check that out and follow along with us. Join in. We're on for a nice long journey with this one, so it'd be an interesting shout if you are interested in that space. And finally, I had the honour to be on the Beta Talks podcast. Really fun chat with the guys over at Beta Talks. Go and check that out. I've been on a couple of podcasts now, and they're always good fun to kind of chat with other people from across the world and kind of air my own thoughts and feelings. On this episode, we talk about innovation in the cloud and some of the cool things that we can do with certain cloud technologies and features and functionality. And yeah, it was really good fun. So check it out if you've got the time. Thanks all. Okie dokie, so without further ado, what we will do is we will head over onto the Azure news and updates. Let's do it. Okay, welcome to the Azure News and Updates. We've got another load of updates for you this week. Obviously, the teams have been absolutely fantastically busy. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's check out the first update. So public preview, Azure Kubernetes service on Azure Stack Hub has gone to public preview, so you can actually run that. If you are running Azure Stack Hub at the moment, you can jump in and use that service in a public preview capacity. General availability, Azure HB version 3 virtual machines for HPC have now been upgraded. Cool. Public preview, Azure Container Registry is available in public preview on Azure Stack Hub as well. So certain components and functionality being released for Azure Stack Hub, which is cool to see. It's all this cloud native technologies, which is great. In development, new planned data center region in Finland. So Finland Central, looks like we've got another region being added, which is absolutely fantastic to see. General available, connect and manage devices in Azure IoT Central without models. So you can now connect devices, send data and run commands without having to first create a device model or template, which kind of enables that quick process, no friction to get your application up and running on your first experience. Azure Data Lake Analytics will be retired on the 29th of February 2024. So that was announced a little while ago. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you are using Data Lake Analytics, it's going to be retired in about 2 years' time. So start prepping for that move if you need to. Community support for Node 14 LTS is ending on the 30th of April 2023. So if you are doing that, you need to upgrade to Node 16 LTS. So get that planning in. You've got a couple of years to make that happen. Transition to using connection strings for data ingestion by the 31st of March 2025. So the technical support for instrumentation key-based global ingestion in the Applications Insight feature of Azure Monitor will end in 2025. So after that date, your application insights resources will continue to receive data but will no longer provide updates. So keep that in mind if you are using that. You might want to look to modify that. So connection string based ingestion before the end of March 2025. So quite a while yet. Azure Q&A Maker is going to be retired 31st of March 2025. So there's lots of retirements going on. So required action is really to any applications that you've got using Q&A Maker, have a look at the custom question answering feature in the cognitive services feature set. Look at the pricing. Microsoft are recommending that you look at the pricing, but try and transition over to that service if you can. Like I say, if you've got apps using it, it's a couple of years, so it'll be on your roadmaps, no doubt. Other news, so update your Azure App Service apps to use Microsoft.NET 6 before the 3rd of December. So if you are using any Azure App Service apps on .NET, then make sure you get those upgraded to .NET 6 to avoid any potential disruption to your web service. Generally available, inbound NAT rule now supports port management for back-end pools. So standard load balancer inbound NAT rule now supports specifying a range of ports for the back-end instances. So previously, to enable any port forwarding with an inbound NAT rule, you need to create, and for every instance in the load balancer's back-end pool, basically you need to create that NAT rule. So it's quite complex, became a bit difficult to manage. So now we've got this availability to manage ports for those back-end pools, which is cool to see. Azure Time Series Insights will be retired on the 31st of March 2025, which is interesting to see. So I think the transition is over to Azure Data Explorer. So go and check that out. If you are using time series insights, which I've used a few times within bits and pieces, it's sad to see that it's been retired, but we've got Azure Data Explorer, which takes in the ability to provide those analytics services. So, for that streaming telemetry. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Review your VNet configurations that may be affected by IP address changes. So on the 31st March 2023, Microsoft are making resource providers for Azure API Management Zone redundant in each region. So check that out. There's an article there. If you are using any of those services, then obviously check out the new IP ranges that have changed significantly. So you may be using that for firewall rules or access capabilities, things like that. So go and check that out. Templates functionality preview version in Azure Portal will be retired on the 31st of March. So basically, to avoid, if you are using the templates functionality, to avoid losing any access to them, there is a conversion process and converting them to template specs in the Azure Portal. There's a little bit of time if you are using them to do that, but just keep that in mind if you are. General availability, Azure Machine Learning user-defined functions in Azure Stream Analytics. Cool. Generally available, Azure Data Explorer supports multiple databases per data connection. Cool to see. Public preview intelligent cache for Apache Spark in Azure Synapse. Public preview Azure assigned managed identities in Stream Analytics. And we've got classic data export in Azure IT Central will be retired by the 31st March 2023. And finally, operator assistance in Azure MFA will be retired on the 30th of September 2023. So lots of retirements, lots of preview features coming in. Great to see that cloud native functionality coming across into Azure Stack Hub. Go and check that out if you are using any of those features for those retirements coming up over the next couple of years. Obviously, make sure you're on top of it, which I'm sure you are, but go and check out the Azure news and updates and follow the articles if you're unsure about what to do with some of that. But there we go. For now, that's been the Azure news and updates. Thanks for tuning in. So there we have it. Thanks everybody for tuning in for this week's episode. A whistle-stop tour. Great to see I can get it just over 20 minutes this week. So always struggle to keep it below the half an hour mark. There's always so much great news and community activity that's going on. So for now, I've been John Lund. Thanks everybody for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, see you soon. Bye now.